at the levels of 644 rupees per share. Kunal, what's your take on Avanti Feeds? What should Ujjwal do with his current holding? He has about, he's not told us the quantum, but the buy price is 644.
See, I think there are two ways in which I would probably look at the chart. One is that the stock has underperformed in the last 2-3 months. Now that could be maybe a process of mean reversion. The stock is going, but then when I look at the charts, it's still far off from its bigger breakout point. I think the bigger breakout point for Avanti Feeds would be around 665, 680 kind of a zone. So if the stock breaks past about this level, that's where I believe you can probably look at a stronger buy. You can hold up as of now, on the quantity of shares which you have bought for Avanti Feeds, and I would probably suggest that wait and watch for say another 3 to 6 months. If the stock gets closer to this breakout point, that's where I believe you can probably look at much bigger upside on the stock from those levels. So as of now, hold and wait and watch for the next 3 to 6 months. The level to watch out for would be 660 to 680.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to be a little bit short of time today, so request you to keep your answers a little bit short so that, but of course, it needs to be good enough for our viewers to understand what you're saying. I won't trouble you too much on that front. This one's for you and Vikas. This is on Happiest Minds. We've got Pramod from Pune who's got this counter, 400 shares at 536 rupees per share. He's planning on holding for the long term. Should he do so?
I think this is also one of the good quality mid-cap IT stock which can be held on to. The investors bought it at a very good price and it's sitting on handsome gains on this. I think he's already tripled his the value of his investment. I think even at these levels, one should hold on to Happiest Minds. It's a pretty sound management and I would recommend a hold.
Okay, this one is also for you, Vikas, and this one is from Sagar. He wants a view on Jubilant Ingravia. He's got about 5,000 shares because of the demerger, and he sold Jubilant Pharmova and added 5,000 more shares of Ingravia at 265 rupees per share. He's saying the stock has zoomed 3 times. Should I continue to hold on to it for the long term? What's your take, Vikas, on this one?
Again, Cheryl, I like the stock, although the investor has already trebled his money, but I think he can continue to hold on to this. It's a good quality company. I think there could be substantial upside in the quarters to come. So I would maintain a hold on this as well.
Kunal, coming to you on Dalmia Bharat, we've got viewer Kunal. No, sorry, this is Sriram and he's addressing it to you. Dalmia Bharat is a counter 2,175 is the buy price. Should he hold or sell is a question.
No, I think we should hold. In fact, I looked at the charts for Dalmia Bharat sometime back as well. Indicators are getting into an oversold territory. There is a sign of a bullish RSI divergence into that stock as well. So I think on both of the fronts, I would sense that the stock would probably try and bottom out at least from a short-term basis at current level. So it could be a good strategy. If you've bought very recently, you should look to hold on.
This is to you, Kunal. She's bought Shilpa Medicare at 646 rupees per share. She wants to know whether she can expect some good moves on this counter in the near term, or else should she look to shift to IRCTC or Tata Chemicals?
See, I think both IRCTC and Tata Chemicals, they have been dream stocks which have gone through a dream run for themselves. No denying that these stocks can probably see some further upside from current levels as well. But then there is something called as risk reward as well when you're looking to buy these stocks. Not just because these stocks are moving up 5%, 10% on an average that you need to chip in. You need to buy these stocks at a point when the risk reward is favorable. Shilpa Medicare, on the other hand, I think is on the verge of a breakout. The stock has consolidated for quite some time. It's showing some good candlestick patterns as well on the monthly time frame chart. So this stock is what I believe could probably hold prospects for say another 15 to 20% on the upside over the next 3 to 6 months. And if you're looking to buy maybe some other stock from the large cap pack, I think ITC could be the other stock which I would recommend from current levels with a decent upside over the next 6 months to 9 months at least.
Okay, Kunal, coming back to you on CDSL, the question is from Satya. He's looking to enter at the current level for the next 3 months. He's pointing out that the stock comes out of ASM next week, and he's wondering whether that will have a bearing. What should he do?
Absolutely, I think that should have a bearing on stocks. I've seen many of the stocks going through phenomena that whenever they get into the ASM list or the trade to trade series, these stocks they tend to get very shallow in terms of the volume action. The prices remain into a bit of a consolidation, and the moment they are about to just about come out of this special situation, then you see a rally coming back into these names. So I think CDSL could be a stock which can come back into the thick of price momentum. The consolidation which has happened for last 3 months for the stock should get over. So if you are a medium term investor, then I think you should look to chip into the stock.
Okay, this one is from Samitra Joshi, and he wants a view on NGL Fine Chem, fundamental and technical view, whether it can be looked at current levels. Vikas, I'll come to you with this one. NGL Fine Chem, do you track this counter, and do you think that Samitra can enter at current price?
Sorry, Cheryl, I do not track this counter as closely as I do other chemical stocks, but the entire sector is doing well, and I'm told this is also a good company. So I think one can continue to hold, or there are several other chemical stocks which are doing well. So the choice would be the investor's choice, whether he wants to book out of this and switch to some other chemical stocks like Sudarshan Chemical, which I like, then Aarti Industries, Vinati Organics, No Sale. These are the kind of stocks which look good.
Okay. This is an incredible acquisition, and I have to point this out. Himanshu Lahit, who's bought Tata Motors DVR at a level of 30 rupees, Vikas, he says. The DVR is currently trading at close to 250 based on the moves that it's had in the recent past. Should he hold on to this? What should he do? First of all, it's an incredible acquisition.
Congratulations to the investor who has bought Tata Motors DVR at 30 rupees, and the best part is continuing to hold on to it. Still, I think there's a lot of upside in the Tata Motors share itself, and the discount between the two, which is close to around 50% even now. I think that should also get lowered, and that would actually mean that Tata Motors DVR outperforms even Tata Motors. So I think he should continue to hold on to Tata Motors DVR.
Right, this one is from Feroz. Max Healthcare entered at a level of 348 rupees per share. What is the medium target for this? Further, is it a good stock to buy on dips to hold it for the longer term? What's your take, Kunal, on Max Healthcare? Feroz has already purchased at 348 rupees per share.
I think it's a good stock to hold on. The price history indicates that the stock is going through a steep uptrend. There is a pause in between, I would say. Just about a resting or a cooling period for the stock in the last 2 months, where you've seen the stock cooling off from 400 to 340, 350 levels where it's currently trading. So I think it's a good time to try and chip into the stock, or else if you've already bought into the stock at slightly elevated levels, I would suggest hold on and wait out for targets back about that 400 levels for Max Healthcare.
Okay, Fortis Healthcare is the next counter, and sticking with the healthcare theme, we recently spoke to the management incidentally of Fortis Healthcare, and the head said essentially that things are returning to normal slowly. But I want to take a check on the charts, Kunal. This is a question from Sarma from Hyderabad, and he's asking whether he can buy at the current price for the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, I had been very bullish on Fortis Healthcare at point when it was at 170, 175. Because that was the point where it was coming out of a multi-years of resistance. So it had spent a lot of time consolidating, given a lot of whipsaws. The stock was in the thick of news flows. But the moment the stock broke past about that 175, 185 mark, you saw a different kind of a trend coming up for Fortis Healthcare. I think it still looks very attractive. What ideally I would suggest is have a buy on dips strategy. I think a 250 level could probably be a good, moderate level where you can look to start off buying the stock and then use maybe a 10% corrections into steps as a good averaging opportunity for Fortis.
Okay, this one is from KR Balan, and he is saying that PSU Bank stocks are on the move. Should I continue to hold or sell or switch? He's holding Union Bank, Bank of Baroda as well as PNB. So, and he's already making 10% profit at present. So, what should he do? What's your take, Vikas? PSU banking space, Mr. Balan has holdings in Union Bank, PNB, Bank of Baroda. Does it make sense for him to switch out of it or continue to hold on to it?
Yeah, Cheryl, of late, PSU banking stocks have done well, and I also am bullish on these stocks. But out of the three stocks which he owned from the public sector banking space, I think Bank of Baroda can be held on to. But as far as the other two are concerned, I think it would be better if he switches to either a Canara Bank or a State Bank of India. I think they would give him comparatively much better returns in the longer term.
Okay. We've got a question on diagnostics, and this is a bit of a strategic play. Vikas, I'm going to take this to you. With corona cases going down and the third wave, as per some experts, this is according to what Deepa is pointing out, is not maybe as bad as it was initially projected to be. Hope that is the case, touch wood. But the question is on diagnostics businesses. How do you play the likes of Dr. Lal Pathlab or Metropolis? What should you do? Should you enter these counters at this juncture?
Not really. I would not advise entering into these counters at these levels because I feel the valuations are really expensive. But they've been doing well, and I think if one has bought at lower levels and have made humongous profit over the last 1 year or so, I think it would be better to book some profit out of this sector. And since, as you rightly pointed out, cases of corona are also coming down, and there are no now indications of a third wave coming in, I think these stocks might correct. So my advice would be to book partial profits and switch to some other sector which has not performed at all.
Alright, this one is from Rajat Priyadarshi, and he wants technical view on Nazara Tech. Is it worth to hold? It's quite a highly volatile stock, as he's saying, for the medium to long term. Kunal, would you be able to offer any view on Nazara Tech given that it's a recently listed counter?
Well, I do track the stock very closely, even though it's a recent listed in a name. But then the stock has done exceptionally well from being a stock which is at just about 1,000 or 1,500 odd rupees to now being a stock which is at 3,000, 3,200 plus. I think one of the reasons why the stock has gone through a correction and that volatility has come back, if I'm not wrong, is because the stock has come into the ASM series. I think that's one of the predominant reasons. And as I just mentioned earlier, that whenever stocks come into these kind of category, there is a heightened degree of volatility as well. Drop in significant volumes. Stocks gets into a corrective phase in terms of price action. So I think you should try and take opportunity of this price correction. I would suggest if the stock comes back closer to 2,400, 2,600 band, that should be a good starting point for you to look if you're looking to buy the stock and hold on to it from a longer term view.
Okay, Star Cement, I'm just pulling up the share price, currently trading at 104. We've got a viewer who has not shared their name. Please, can you share your name, guys? It becomes really hard to take. But anyway, this viewer's bought Star Cement at levels of 116.5 and 27% of their holding was accepted in a buyback. They've got obviously a certain amount left. He's got a short-term view. Kunal, should he hold on to this counter bought at levels of 116? I think current market price is 104.
I think you should look to exit. The stock, is not showing any major signs of trend revivals. The volumes are also a bit lackluster for a stock which is priced at 100 odd rupees. I would suggest an exit. Either you can look at maybe a large cap name from the cement pack, something like Ultratech Cement, which has come back into a corrective phase. Or if you're looking to switch altogether to a new sector, then and specifically from a short-term view, I would suggest ITC even at current levels.
Going to wrap up. Query is coming from Amish. Amish, we'll take one query of yours, not two, due to paucity of time. This one is of Biocon. He's already holding 10 shares, which he's purchased at 4,162 rupees per share. Kunal, how does Biocon look like? What should Amish do with his holding currently? 10 shares purchased at 4,162 rupees per share.
Well, I think there should be some goof up with in terms of decimals. Biocon is at 350, 360 odd rupees, and the historical highs as well may not be of the same extent. But nevertheless, I think on Biocons the charts are a bit sluggish, and I've been pointing this out that from the time when the stock had seen that sharp selling, it was late 2020 and early 2021 when it had fallen sharply from 475 towards 370, 380 in a matter of 1 month. Post that, the stock has just remained in a limbo as such. It's gone through a downward trend, no signs of revival as such. So I would suggest an avoid on Biocon at current levels because of the lack of consistency of price trend and the fact that the stock is still struggling to try and recuperate the losses which it faced 9-10 months back.
Okay, the question on Star Cement was from Kartavya. I hope that answers your question, Kartavya. We've got okay, this is difficult. Look, if you don't post your name, it's not going to be possible for me to take your question. We've got Pushkar Chemicals. Do you have a view, Vikas, on this one? We've got Riaz, who's holding 4,000 shares approximately at levels of 261, looking for a long-term view.
Sorry, Alex, I do not track Pushkar Chemicals as well and would not be able to offer my comment on the same.
Okay, so then assuming that the viewer wants a view on the chemical space, would you suggest that they shift to something that you would suggest?
I don't know whether he should shift from Pushkar Chemicals because I do not closely track that company, but there are several other chemical stocks which I like and which I've been recommending. A few names I've already just discussed a few minutes back. I like Sudarshan Chemicals, I like Aarti Industries and Vinati Organics, and but the new listings like Heranma Industries, Chemplus, Sanmar, these are the kind of stocks which I think one can buy even at the current levels and hold for long term. I think there is substantial upside to these stocks. Even Sumitomo Chemicals is one stock which I like.
All right, so that is the view coming in on the chemical space from Vikas. Also, along with posting your names, make sure you put in the right buy price of your counters as well. And also, if possible, please tell us what exactly you want us to tell you about when you write in your queries. Otherwise, it gets too difficult for us to actually decipher that for you guys. But let's move on and let's get going with the rapid fire. And this one is from Zafar. He wants a short-term view on BPCL. He has 9,000 shares, 423 rupees is the buy price. What's your take, Kunal? What should Zafar do with BPCL? Continue to hold or sell?
Well, I would suggest an avoid. Dollar index moving up higher, crude also moving up higher may not be good for oil marketing companies. So I would suggest an avoid on BPCL.
Because Centrum Capital, lots of news flow on this counter. 5,000 shares bought by Pintu Prasad from Siliguri at prices of 46.5. Should he hold on?
I think one can hold on to Centrum Capital. They've got recently a banking license as well. I think a long run it could perform.
This one is from Akshay. He wants to know about First Source. He has bought at an average price of 130 rupees per share. He has 200 shares. Should he add more? Because I know the answer, but what should he do?
Yeah, he's bought it at a very good price, and this was one of the stock which I recommended when I was talking about the IT stocks. I've been bullish on this counter since 40 odd levels. We've seen highs of 240, 50. Even at these levels, I think one should hold on to this stock. A very good company and good mover.
Okay, we've got a question on Tata Motors. I think I also understand what the view is going to be. The buy price was 306, quantity was 374. The question is from Rajesh. Would you say that he should hold on, Vikas?
Yeah, certainly. I had already mentioned during the program, I'm bullish on Tata Motors from here on also, although the stock has seen a dream run, but it's much better time to come for Tata Motors. And even Rakesh Immunology has also invested into this stock. I think one should continue to hold on to Tata Motors. Shouldn't think of selling it.
Right. This one is from Prem. He has 20 shares of Huhtamaki at 273 rupees per share. It's much lower than his buy price. So should he average now or book loss? Short-term view is what he wants. What's your take, Kunal, on Huhtamaki?
Well, I would suggest an exit on Huhtamaki, and as I said, if you're looking at short term, why not look at maybe an ITC at current levels of 55 to 57?
Yeah, one. All right, I'm so sorry. There are a few questions that are rather more than a few questions that are still pending, but we're completely out of time on this edition of the Query Show. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in and for taking the time. It's been a pleasure. We're slipping into a short break, but more on the other side, so do stay tuned.
This is Simi's father. Tying a braid is tough for him. But investing in stocks with Upstocks, easy. Upstocks, start karke dekho.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
सुनो ना, आज तबीयत ठीक नहीं लग रही. तुम ही सब काम निपटा दो ना, प्लीज.
Let's do it, Papa!